Well, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Friday morning, January 14th, 2022. We're just about halfway through the month. And so at this point, we should each have around 4 or more clients enrolled in the Access to Capital program to be on track as a white label partner. We get together most weekday mornings at this time, about a minute before 8 o'clock Central, go through strategies, success stories, tips, techniques, and we're here to support you. Today, we're going to drill down to the basics of the 3 C's, but also elaborate on how you and I as technical advisors help clients that don't qualify for funding. Because the analogy I often give is, let's say that you and I decided that we wanted to go open an auto mechanic repair shop. And that's about the last thing I could ever do, because I don't know how to work on cars. But let's just say you and I decided to open a mechanic shop. Would we only invite in clients that have perfectly running cars? Well, no, of course. We're here, and we could always put wiper blades or do an oil change, but we're primarily here to fix what's wrong, so when they leave, their car runs better. Well, as technical advisors, can we work with people that have all 3 C's to start with and help them get funding? Absolutely. But a lot of the clients that come to us, their car is smoking, or it's not running well, or it's coming in on a tow truck. So in many cases, the clients that you and I work with as technical advisors don't have all of the 3 C's. So today we're going to go through briefly, again, what those 3 C's are, which you probably know, and just recap how you and I can help them get their car running better so they can get funding or get more funding. Okay, so the topic as shown on the screen here is, again, the 3 C's. To qualify for debt. Now, you and I know there's different sources of capital. Not all sources of capital is debt-based. So don't extend this concept to all types of capital. But for debt-based capital, a business needs to meet the 3 C requirements based upon the specific loan underwriting criteria. So, these words are important. So each lender offers different types of loans. Each loan has its own underwriting criteria to be approved. If you meet the underwriting criteria, you get approved, you get funded. If you don't meet the underwriting criteria, you get declined and you don't get funded. That's why it's important for you and I as technical advisors. We're going to work together, identify the right source or sources of capital for each client, and then help them meet the underwriting criteria. And then just again to clarify, if the client's not looking for debt, they're looking for other types of capital, let's say equity, then of course the 3 C's are still valuable, but it's not crucial for funding. So important principles, 3 C's. There's credit, there's capacity, and there's collateral. The truth is there's more than 3 C's. There's others, but we're not going to get distracted by that. We're going to stick on the 3 C's. But if you were to ever challenge me that there are actually more than 3 C's, that's true. For instance, credibility is another C, but we'll leave that out of our discussion. So credit can be personal and or business. There's capacity, in other words, our ability to afford to pay for the debt. And then there's collateral. So as we mentioned here at the bottom of the screen, and reiterating what I said at the top, and it's so important that you understand this, is that different sources of debt have different underwriting requirements. So that's why and that's one of the most important things you and I can educate people on, is they'll tend to come to you thinking, oh, I don't qualify. Well, you don't qualify for what? Maybe you've not selected the right source of capital based upon your circumstances or such, but it's not yes or no. We need to first figure out what the right source of capital is and then meet that underwriting criteria. So furthermore, some sources of debt underwrite off of all 3 C's. I probably should have bolded this. So some will look at all 3 C's. So if you apply for those, they're going to look at credit, capacity, and collateral. However, some of them just look at 1 or 2 of the 3 C's. So do you have to have all 3 C's to get funding? No. You have to have at least 1 of the 3 C's. to borrow money. Again, do we have to borrow money? No, we can get clients capital without borrowing money, without taking on debt. But today we're talking about the 3 C's as it affects debt-based capital. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to drill in and look at how you and I help people improve their 3 C's: credit, collateral, capacity. Just going to take me a couple minutes to go through this. Then we'll open it up and then for discussions. And as usual, on Fridays, we'll wrap it up early. Now, credit really has 2 types of credit. There's personal credit and there's business credit. You and I, as technical advisors through the Access to Capital program, can help with either of those or both of those. For personal credit, we have a program that's called the 60-day credit sweep. It is not credit repair. Let's say it again. It's not credit repair. It does, though, block applicable derogatory items legally. And there is no cost for Access to Capital clients. If someone wants to access 60-day credit sweep and they're not an Access to Capital client, there is a cost. More information is available on this link. And I'll send this reference page out with the recording. In contrast, there's business credit. So business credit is building the credit worthiness of the business under the EIN of the business. So such as building their Dun & Bradstreet Paydex score and their Experian and IntelliScore and so forth. That is also free for Access to Capital clients. That is part of the Access to Capital program. And you just get with our funding coordinator, Madison, and she can help you with that if you have questions. She manages that process. So we know that the 3 C's are relevant if we want to borrow money. You have to have at least one of the 3 C's, but the more, the better. And for credit, we've got it covered for people, don't we? We can help them improve their personal credit if needed. We can help them improve and build their business credit if needed. So we can check that box. Now let's move on to the next C, which is collateral. We just recently announced the Collateral Support Program. We had a standalone training on that, and that's on the white label page now. So what is the Collateral Support Program? In brief, it adds real income producing collateral to the client's balance sheet. Cost. Well, this is a tricky one to answer because it's income producing, so it pays for itself. But with that being said, there is a $1,000 deposit to enroll. We split that $1,000 deposit 50-50 with you. So this is a way for you to help clients make a quick $500, and we can help strengthen their collateral position by adding accounts receivable to their balance sheet. And there's more information about this here, and we had a recent training about it, as I mentioned. Another type of collateral is what we call the key person policies. The key person policy is a business-owned life insurance policy that is in place to protect the lender in case the borrower should die while the loan is open. The cost of it is not easy to answer because there is a suitability process that the licensed insurance agent goes through with the client, and then they determine on the amount of coverage and the type of coverage and so forth. But as white label partners, we split that. That could be a little bit of income. That could be a lot of income. It just depends upon how the policy is designed. Okay, so we're talking about the 3 C's and how it's relevant to qualify for debt-based capital, credit, capacity, collateral. We know that not everyone will come in with the levels of credibility that they need. And so we've already covered that we can help anyone with credit, whether it be personal credit or business credit, and how we can help anyone with collateral. So now we're down to the final C, aren't we? Which is capacity. Capacity is important because it is how the borrower illustrates to the lender that the borrower can afford it. So let's just use an example. Let's say you and I go into the Ferrari dealership. Now, most Ferrari dealerships have no available inventory, but let's pretend that they have a unit in stock that you and I like, and it's $250,000. And let's say that you and I have great credit. Will they sell us that Ferrari just because we have great credit? Probably not. They're going to also ask about income because they'd really like to know if we can afford to make the payments on the Ferrari. And so if we say, oh, well, we make $36,000 a year, the chances are we won't get approved for the Ferrari. They'll point us across the street and we'll have to go buy a little Chevy Sprint or whatever those small cars are. So of course, lenders care about the creditworthiness, which is a reflection of how people or businesses have paid their bills in the past. They may care about collateral, especially for working capital loans, in terms of, well, what happens if the borrower doesn't pay it back, either if they're alive or dead. And then also, many lenders are concerned about, can the borrower afford to pay back the money that is being borrowed? So the collateral support program also, and I know we just talked about it, it's not a mistake, also addresses capacity. Well, the way that it does that is, in addition to adding collateral to the balance sheet of the client's business, we can show monthly income on the client's income statement, sometimes called profit and loss statement, using the accrual method of accounting. And that's possible because each AR account that is part of the collateral support portfolio that the client is getting, each account has daily late fees. So if, let's say that there's 10 accounts in that portfolio, so then that is accruing $500 a day in late fees to, not to our client, but to the debtors that are part of that debt portfolio. And if there's 30 days in the month, that's $15,000 a month of income using the accrual method. So again, the same thing with cost. Is there a cost? Yeah, we charge the client a deposit to enroll in the collateral support program, just like we said before. Yes, we split it with you. But the bottom line is it's income producing. So at the end of the day, it's zero cost, but yes, they'll have to put the deposit down, and then we sell it for 10% of the cost of the value of the portfolio. We have guaranteed financing for everything but the $1,000 deposit. So very affordable. And again, the information is the same place. So the collateral support program didn't change. I'm just clarifying by listing it twice that it helps clients address collateral deficiencies and capacity deficiencies. So do all clients need help building their credit? Of course not, either because their credit's fine or the type of funding that we're going to pursue is not credit dependent. Do all clients need help building collateral? No. Maybe because they have enough collateral or the type of funding we're pursuing is not dependent upon collateral. And you'll hear me say the same thing again. Do all clients need help with capacity? No. Some of them have enough capacity, or the type of funding we're going after is not looking at capacity. The last bullet here is you can always help your clients generate income. And you'll see that you'll have people that come to you and they're struggling cash flow wise. And you look at them like, why? Why? That's a choice. To be broke or to have inadequate cash flow is a voluntary choice because you and I can fix it. You can get them signed up as a white label partner under you as a regional vice president. You get a 25% override. They don't pay anything to become a white label partner to enroll. You don't pay anything, of course, to be a regional vice president. And so white label partners on their income statements, if they're hitting the 8 clients enrolled a month, 2 a week on average, which is what we're all shooting for, they should be adding about $100,000 a month to their income statement. And we've had different trainings where we looked at spreadsheets on that. Again, the cost is zero, but this is also a significant revenue stream to you. And there's more information here. So let's step back and look at this 2 different ways. What's in it for the client? And then we'll come back to what's in it for you. What's in it for the client? You and I as technical advisors can take anyone, help them build their financial literacy, help them build their lender compliant loan package, and help them meet the underwriting criteria to get at least, guaranteed at least $100,000. Now, to meet the underwriting criteria, we're going to have to figure out what type of funding is most relevant to the client. We figure that out by building the loan package, and then we're going to have to deal with some or more of the 3 C's, unless we're not going to go after debt. If we're going after equity, the 3 C's are valuable but not crucial. And so what you and I can do is help them build their credit. We can help them, I should say, improve their credibility for credit, whether it be personal credit or business credit. Neither of these are necessarily new direct revenue streams to you or to us, but we're providing value to the client. We can help them build their collateral. It does add revenue to you because you get money up front off of it, and it helps the client have more credibility from a collateral perspective, the key person policies we've talked about. And then lastly, if clients just cannot show on paper that they have the credibility in terms of capacity to pay debt, you and I can help them with that through either of these 2 options. The collateral support program, of course, will add revenue to your pocket up front. And then the white label program has the biggest potential economic impact to you, because as they come aboard, they produce, then you should be seeing a significant cash flow on an ongoing basis. So if you're to ask which of these has the biggest impact to you, it's certainly the white label program. So hopefully you can understand what's in it for the client and what's in it for you. Now I'm going to get to your questions and we'll wrap it up early. All right, so Glenn's asking a little bit about, which is a good question, about these programs, who they're geared towards. And so remember, we're offering the Access to Capital program. That's our bread and butter. These are resources underneath the Access to Capital program. So the Access to Capital program is geared towards pre-launch startup and existing businesses. There's no minimum credit score, no minimum time in business to enroll in the Access to Capital program. There's no upfront cost, Glenn, for clients to enroll in the Access to Capital program. And we do guarantee them a minimum of $100,000 capital raise. So the answer to Glenn's question is the Access to Capital is relevant pretty much to any business, not just startups and not just those that are in a difficult position. And then Glenn has a follow-up question. So this is not the process, right? These are resources that are available that you and I as technical advisors help people with 3 C's. But Glenn's question really is off topic from this. It's a good question, but it's off topic from this. He's asking about the process for the Access to Capital. And you're right, Glenn, it's the same no matter if your client wants to start an adult theater or start a church or start a school or start an accounting firm or a law firm or a muffler shop. It's the same, right? You sign up with them using your version of the Access to Capital agreement. You submit them on the white label client submission form on the white label page. We send them the funding proposal via Adobe. We copy you. You encourage them to complete it. They complete it, comes back. Within 24 hours, we get them funding offers. The typical client will get 3 to 7 funding offers. Could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000. Maybe they don't qualify for any cash funding offers. If that's the case, we have guaranteed financing available. Once they have either paid you their refundable deposit or at least set up financing terms, then we go build a loan package, Glenn, and that is set to be a 28-day, a 4-week process. So yes, the process is the same regardless of the specific type of capital they're trying to pursue. Thank you, Glenn, for those good questions. All right, and Winston's got interest. And Winston, I think you'll be one of our top regional vice presidents. So we've covered this on a separate training, but I'll give a quick overview before we end today. So our regional vice president position is new. It is free. You would develop relationships with people that you want to have on your team as white label partners. You would sign a joint venture agreement with them. We don't provide that agreement. It's between you and them. You can get it off of Rocket Lawyer or Law Depot, or if you use Legal Shield, however you want to get your JV agreement. So that's describing your relationship with them in terms of what you're going to provide, support, and mentoring, and in terms of the revenue split. Most of our regional vice presidents do a 50-50 revenue split with the white label partner. Once you have them under agreement, then you go to the white label page and you submit them there. If you can, email us over your agreement with them so we can link the two of you, and then they become a white label partner. We work with them, we implement them. They do all the things we've been talking about, and then you're getting a 25% override as their RVP or whatever revenue split you've agreed to. Winston asked, well, will the white label partners know that there's a revenue split? Of course, and you know, we should be transparent, and that's okay. That's the way the system works. All right, well, one quick summary, and then I'm going to run out the door here, and we'll be back Monday morning for training again. So today we talked about the 3 C's and how it's relevant for debt-based capital. There's other types of capital that are not debt-based, but if we're looking for debt-based capital, we need to realize that the borrower must meet the specific loan underwriting criteria that varies by lender and type of loan. Comes down to the 3 C's. You need at least one of the 3 C's, the more the better, to be able to qualify for debt. And you and I, as technical advisors, have unique tools in our tool chest to help people improve their 3 C's. Now, not everyone needs to improve it, and not all sources of capital again require all 3 C's, but you and I can help people improve their credibility from personal credit, business credit, improve their credibility from collateral with our collateral support program and or key person policies. We can help them improve their capacity, again, through the collateral support program and or the white label program. Do clients have to use any of these resources? No. And most of them, as you see, are free. It's just what you and I do to move people from where they're at to where they need to be. We don't want to fall into the trap of people thinking, oh, I enrolled in the Access to Capital program, I'll immediately qualify for $1 billion. Well, no, you're going to qualify for whatever you qualify for based upon the underwriting criteria of the selected debt instrument. A lot of people need help improving their credibility, and that's the real power of what you and I do as technical advisors. We help them improve their credibility on paper through the 3 C's. That is credible for us to do, that's valuable, that's needed, and that's our unique sauce that allows us to guarantee that anyone can get at least $100,000 funding, often much more, because we're working with them at the underlying factors that's needed for approval. All right, well, thanks everyone. We'll see you back on Monday morning. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.